Blood Bowl, Necromunda and many more. But will Epic ever return? Epic! Nick speaking, and welcome to this video. Right, another Wonders of video for you, and in this one I want to discuss Games Workshop and Epic. Will it ever return? Before that though, if you would like to keep up to date with the wonders of Warhammer 40k, then please give me a sub and hit the bell button so you don't miss an upload. Okay, so I've been thinking about this for some time. We've obviously seen Games Workshop re-release a lot of these specialist games that they do, and the one which really interests me is Epic. Now, if you haven't heard of Epic before, it's basically a tabletop war game which use miniatures that are around 6mm big, so very small. And unlike the current game of 40k where it's around 28mm, that's pretty small, and the idea is that basically you can have much bigger battles, so you can see like Warhound Titans on the table and they'd be sort of so big, so you can really have an epic game, and I suppose that's where the name comes from. And yeah, I've always had a little soft spot for Epic. Now, I don't own any Epic models. I've never played the original Epic game. However, I've seen a lot of people make videos on YouTube regarding, not necessarily Epic actually, but regarding 6mm models. And every time I see those videos, it always piques my interest in them. Now, I know there are third-party miniatures that make 6mm stuff, not just Games Workshop. There's lots of other games that do 6mm, and I have been looking at those models. As yet, I haven't taken the plunge. I've even looked on eBay for second-hand ones as well. I think if I ever was going to do 6mm, I would like to do Games Workshop one, because I'm a Games Workshop fanboy. That's the truth. So yeah, I've been waiting with bated breath to see if Epic will actually make a return. So as I haven't played this game, it's pretty obvious that the key thing that I'm interested in is the actual models. I mean, how cool would it be to have like Necron monoliths in little Epic scale miniatures? So I think it's the collector side in me that would love to have that. I've been researching. I don't think they ever did Necrons in Epic scale. It's mainly like Space Marines and Orcs, and I think the older schooled armies. Eldar are in there as well. There's some very cool miniatures, or there was some very cool miniatures. But if they bring them back, how are they going to cope with those miniatures? So the miniatures originally were metal, of course, and they're no longer doing metal. So if they were to bring it back, would they use the old casts? Do they still have the old cast, I'm wondering? Would 6mm work in fine cast? We've already talked about fine cast. I'll link you up to that video here. Now, I don't know if they have the original casts for these models. Of course, they don't do the metal anymore. I doubt they'd make them in fine cast, to be fair, which only leaves obviously plastic left. But will they invest in making the new plastic models? Because let's face it, that is a big investment. So we've just seen Necromunda re-released, and that was an incredibly popular game back in the day, and that's been released with some new models. And as far as I'm aware, as well as these new models, you can still use your old models as well. So if they brought Epic out, would they do the same? Would they allow you to use your old models and introduce new models? I think they probably would need new models, because if they're planning to make it like 40k army wide, then they need to introduce new models like Necrons, like I said. Tyranids are already there. Tyranids have some very cool epic models, I have to say. But yeah, so they're definitely going to have to introduce some more factions, unless they keep it as a box set. It could be just a 2-faction single box set game, maybe. But how popular would that be? Now, as usual, this is just a discussional video, so I'd really love to hear your comments on what you think about Epic, how they're going to release it, what they should release, would you buy it if they did, etc. I'd love to hear a video response if you fancy making one of those, and of course put your comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. So would I buy Epic if it came out? So it would depend on the cost and how they did it, really, to be fair. So if it came out as a single box set, and it was just, say, I don't know, Orcs versus Space Marines at a reasonable price, I might be tempted because of the models. I just want to have some 6mm stuff and just paint it, and I think it'd be pretty cool to have it and then be able to play the game. If they brought it full scale as such, and my beloved armies that I play came out with models like Necrons, etc. If Tyranids came out, they had some new plastic models and that, I'd definitely be tempted. It would obviously be cost dependent. I'd imagine it wouldn't be cheap. Never is it? And it's all down to money, of course, but I would definitely think that I would be very, very interested in getting to Epic if it ever returned. But will it return? What do you think? Do you think it's on the cards? Do you think GW will be releasing it soon? There's not that many specialist games left to release, to be fair. Of course, we've got Battlefleet Gothic. I'm going to talk about that in next week's Wonders of video. But for now, that's it. Let me have your comments. I look forward to reading them. Beam me up.